Lee, are more guys doing cover crops in your territory?
Yeah, the cover crops have been on the growth for the last 4 or 5 years. We've had programs, work with Partners for Ag Resource Management that comes out with cover crop help, helps buy cover crops for growers. So yeah, there's been more interest. A lot of the farm programs, guys sign up to put cover crops on, so they get a tidbit for doing that. So yeah, cover crop has been huge. Last year we had quite a bit of ground that never got planted, and guys realized they needed to cover that ground up. So a lot of first-time experience with cover crops, and so we start them out on a simple cover crop, a rye or even an oats radish mix that it's going to terminate over winter. So guys got to see the advantage of cover crops with kind of being forced into it. So
there's that. You mentioned rolling rye. That's a common practice in the South to stop Palmer amaranth. So no spraying, just roll the rye and rock it, roll and plant. So it works pretty well. And I would assume your weed control is better anyway because you've got that covered in, right?
Oh yeah, yes. Our basic weeds are very minimum where we've got to cover.
Good. So with a pre-emerge program and with a 2-pass, pre-emerge and a post, you're done. Probably pretty easy too. Okay. Jim, are you doing cover crops at your place?
We are. So, and I farm with, I'm going to say he may be a little bit older than Brad, but very progressive. And, I'm usually on the cutting edge of technology. He was on the cutting edge of cover crops, and I wasn't. And, but we had similar experiences. I mean, you're learning. 2 years ago, we didn't get in and plant soybeans until June. And ours was the same way. I can remember running a sprayer across it. And my 4730, the boom wouldn't get over the top. That's how tall it was. And I can remember looking at the R7 imagery on his field, and looking at the NDI or the NDI and the scores, looking at the heat coming off of it. And I'm like, my beans are going to smoke your beans on that field. And his were as good, if not better than mine. So we've had pretty good luck with it. The one thing that I've noticed is he's not getting a real consistent stand. And I was getting ready to start asking Brad and Lee questions because
Go ahead, please.
He's using a Hedges out, after the corn's pollinated to spread it. He's just not getting. Of course, it's timing of rainfall, But he tried to roll a bunch of his this year, crimp it, and it was too inconsistent. So, but what I've noticed is the soil tilth increases at an incredible rate, and his weed control is really, really good. The only downside I've seen is we're starting to see some insects that we haven't had for a while, but you can manage that. So, for instance, we've seen more grubs, we've seen more wireworm, but it hasn't been a huge issue. But it's something that I would say you probably need to be aware of.
Interesting. That's something I'll have to have my guys look into that as a side benefit. The pest pressure. I mean, other than all that cover crop that came up with Palmer, I think that was bad.
Yeah.